もしやコスモでは。
Cosmo needs me free.
Cosmo AP Luxury Sports.
The next component to be mounted is the solenoid block that directs the air to the air springs, and I'm kind of thinking right here under the tank is the best place to put it. It just needs to fit underneath, so I grabbed these random pieces of angle and kind of decided that this is about where it has to sit. Plenty of room under here. And the air lines can take a 90 degree and go straight down through the floor. Let's say about 7 centimeters. I've already measured the solenoid block at 5.5 inches long, so I'm gonna mark this at 6 inches because it's good to have an extra ½ inch now and again. Which of course is what she said. That should be close enough. I decided to space it 1 inch off the bottom of the trunk, so I'll just mark it at a little bit more than 1 inch. Then another 3/4 of an inch for the flange. I bent it in the wrong order, it won't fit on the press anymore, so this. Just get it started here. One day I'll get a real break. I can always tweak that a little bit. Yeah, not bad. This does not work very well. See, the problem is it unbends the thing I've already bent. But I think I can fix that in the press. Yeah, that's straightened her out. We'll probably just use the calibrated eyeball on this to center it. It's about right. Marking these holes is going to be a pain because they didn't provide any sort of drawing nor measurements. These wires are in the way. Hope that worked. I have basically no margin for error on these holes, so I shouldn't have done them by hand. I hope I got these right. Oh, beautiful. few shots of PB Blaster just so that hopefully the threads don't gull, because welding stainless under tension like this is always a little bit sketchy. Yeah, they're coming out. Perfect. I guess the real test is, does it still fit? It's kind of a pain to line these holes up because you can't see them. Wow, good for me. Just going to add some flanges to the side to reinforce these a little bit. And one final trimming is I need to make space for this captive nut from the factory. No idea what this is, but don't want to remove it. And a fit check, not bad at all. And a few holes with the old hole maker. As always, masking off the areas I don't want to get weld through primer on. And of course I have to mask the parts too. Final wipe down with a little bit of brake cleaner just in case I got any fingerprints or oils or anything else on here. And now we paint. Can's getting a bit low, so I kind of have to hold these up. Oh, way too much. I may have over-taped this. And now, after positioning it, we weld this in place. And it's very difficult to film. I kind of expected that. Point of this primer is you're supposed to be able to weld through it, but that, in my experience, has not been. Nice and strong. One more component though, the pump, which will tuck right back here. I would just like to point out, this is all the hardware that came with this Ride Tech pump. We have rubber isolators and a filter, that's good. A few electrical bits, I don't know how I'm supposed to use this fuse holder, because why would this be anywhere near the battery? And a ring connector and a fuse, okay, all well and good. Nowhere is there a connector that matches this. What the hell? This mounts on these little rubber vibration isolators, which honestly is kind of a nice touch. Okay, let's make a mount. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch margin on each side, roughly there, here-ish, here-ish. Okay, so with the pump all squared up, a 3/16 inch drill bit fits right in the hole, so I should be able to make an easy mark. Yep, those still line up. Woohoo! Fits! About to weld a big flat piece of aluminum, so let's stick some clamps on here to try to keep the warp under control. Well, those are not my best welds on aluminum. I am out of practice, but that stayed fairly straight. That is quite a cantilever. Even though it's pretty strong, I'm just going to add a support going down to the inner rocker panel. Just marked a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch square, and I have to bend this to match the angle of the inner rocker panel there. I swear I got that right first try. The top of this just needs a little twist so it meets up with this edge. Hoping I can just give this a clamped in the vise and hoping I can just give it a bit of a twist. It only has to move about a 1/4 inch or so. Oh yeah, that's really easy. Okay. See if that works. Once again, I swear that was my first try. Oh, that's a little tight. Which of course is what she said. Much better. I still cannot find my aluminum magnet. So I'm going to do my best to tape this thing in place for a few minutes so I can get some tack welds on there. Before I go any further, just want to make sure it's straight. Yeah, it's straight within about 1.5 millimeters, so I'm going to call that straight enough. There's no way for me to fit a drill right there. So I'm hoping I can create a mark with the Dremel that I can see on the other side, and I can drill it from the back. That's pretty thin sheet metal, so that worked perfectly. Well, the holes line up. But obviously that's a little inconvenient. We'll deal with that in a minute. Put a little anti-seize on here. Trick is to get this centered as possible. Of course, I have to mask off the area so that I don't get paint everywhere. Looks like there's a lot of rust here, but it's mainly just surface rust. Obviously, I will have to do some repairs around here, but that seems like a problem for future me. I didn't weld the bottom earlier because I thought that I would add some sort of stiffening bracket, but this thing is really strong and I simply don't think it needs the other brackets. Still looks pretty straight. I just want to add some support to take the wiggle out of this mount. This happens to be exactly 1.5 inches. So, sorry, 3/4. Not bad. Of course I had to make two. That was ugly. This weld-through primer has copper in it, which the can says is supposed to increase weldability. Need to trim a little bit off so that this clears the inside of the trunk. One more piece to weld on, and that's the captured nut that goes on the underside of the car. But first, I need to bolt this thing down. Then I can just use the bolt to hold this in place while I weld it. That weld-through primer was actually pretty easy to weld through. And everything out one more time. So the solenoid block can be reinstalled with its ridiculously long screws. And the pump can be loosely mounted. Now I'm not going to tighten these completely down because they're nylock nuts and I don't want to wear out the nylon locking of them. And these are weird imperial nuts, so it's not like I have spares because I don't keep weird imperial stuff around. Then, back in the trunk. Oh, this is first a really annoying bolt. It's actually really easy. Actually, this one's really easy to tighten. There it is. And that's it. All the air supply parts are mounted and pretty damn solid at that. I think this is a good spot to end it here because next up I have to plumb it all and wire it. And I have a bit of a decision to make with the control system. There are plenty of commercial ones, but I mean honestly, controlling some solenoids and some sensors seems pretty simple to do with a microcontroller, some MOSFETs and some support components.